All right, let's not play no games. I need full-on participation. I need you to get down in the comments and work with me. Who should not make this Team USA team? I'm going to give you my roster that I would keep. Let me know if you agree or not.
I want a straight answer here. No dancing around it. Just the truth about who shouldn't be on Team USA. And what makes this fascinating is the boldness of that take. Because we're about to dive into something that goes against everything USA basketball has done for years. This isn't just fans arguing on social media anymore. We're looking at a real conversation about whether past achievements should outweigh what's happening on the court right now. And the conclusion might catch you off guard.
The GOAT, Caitlin Clark, should be the starting point guard for Team USA. Duh, the best thing that ever did it. Caitlin Clark starting at point guard. Jackie Young should be starting at shooting guard. That is what I believe it should be. That should be the starting backcourt right there. We move on to the wing position. I got Kalia Copper starting at.
So, here's the starting five that flips everything upside down. Clark runs the point. Young takes the 2. Copper at the 3. Hami holds down the 4. And Boston anchors the middle. Look at what's different here. This throws out the old USA basketball playbook of stacking the roster with veterans who've been through multiple Olympic runs. This lineup is all about who's performing now, who fits together, and, honestly, where this program needs to go. And why does this matter beyond just picking names? Because USA basketball has always been about rewarding loyalty. They want players who've done it before on the international stage, who understand the system inside and out, who've proven themselves in high-stakes moments across multiple tournaments. That's exactly why Chelsea Gray earned her spot on the Paris Olympic team in 2024. Even though Caitlin Clark was tearing up the WNBA as a rookie, leaving Clark home while Gray was working back from injury created a firestorm. People couldn't stop talking about how Clark led the entire league in assists and three-point percentage while sitting at home, watching the Olympics.
I have Kelsey Plum coming off the bench. Obviously, Kelsey Plum should make this team. I think the backcourt is set between Caitlin Clark, Jackie Young, Paige Beckers, and Kelsey Plum. You got all you need at the guard spot. You really you really don't need no more guards after that, for real. You need wings and bigs. You don't really need no more guards after those 4.
The backcourt rotation comes down to just 4 names: Clark, Young, Beckers, and Plum. And look, there's real logic behind this choice. Check out what Clark did: 19.2 points per game, 8.4 assists, all as a first-year player. She dragged the Fever into the playoffs for the first time in 8 years. Young captured a championship with Las Vegas and made all-league teams. Plum already has Olympic gold from Paris. In Beckers, even after injuries wiped out most of her time at UConn, when she finally got back on the floor, she reminded everyone she's still one of the most gifted scorers in the women's game. But now, here's where it gets uncomfortable. This rotation completely excludes Chelsea Gray. Gray, who took home Finals MVP with the Aces in 2022, who's been essential to USA basketball for years, who delivers when everything's on the line. The flip side? Gray hit 32 this past October. She battled foot and leg problems all season long. She only suited up for 26 games in 2024. 10.3 points and 4.4 assists per game. Those aren't bad numbers by any means, but they're not elite anymore.
At the 4-5 off the bench. This might surprise some of y'all. Y'all gonna see where I'm going. I got Cameron Brink. On my team. I don't know about y'all. I got Cameron Brink coming off the bench for this team. I have Rakia Jackson coming off the bench on the wing for this team. I also have Kiki Area Finn coming off the bench as a backup big on this team. We have one spot left between Angel Reese,
Elsie Gray. Now, this is where things get really wild. The wing rotation off the bench includes Citron from Washington, Jackson, and then, at the 4 and 5, you've got Brink, Harrion backing up the bigs, and retaking that final spot. Brink over Gurrier. That's the pick that's going to blow up every group chat and comment section. Gurrier stands 6'9". She's got 2 Olympic golds. She's been one of the most feared defensive forces in women's basketball for a decade. She put up 17.8 points, 6.6 boards, and 1.5 blocks per game in 2024. She's been the defensive backbone for Team USA in countless international tournaments, but Brink is the future. She's 20. She went second overall in the 2024 draft, national champion at Stanford. She brings a totally different package: rim protection, the ability to guard smaller players on switches, and range out to the three-point line. The catch? She tore her ACL in June of 2024 and missed everything after that. So, clearly, this projection is looking beyond just the next tournament. This is about building something for the long haul.
Just a role player, which is what she should be. She's not a star go-to player. Rebound, and that's it. That's all. Rebound and play defense. That's all you got to do. That should be your role, but your team in the WNBA sucks so bad that you're trying to do more, and that's just not you. Angel Reese makes my final 12. So who didn't make my cut? It's a lot of y'all looking like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You got that right. Chelsea Gray didn't make my team. I'm over all these old people. Look, Chelsea Gray's done her thing. She shouldn't even been in the Olympics. Caitlin Clark, rookie year. Caitlin Clark.
What? We are moving forward with Reese in that last spot. And honestly, the logic makes sense, even if it sounds harsh. Ree averaged 13.6 and 13.1 rebounds as a rookie with Chicago. She set the league record with 15 straight double-doubles. She's relentless on the glass and brings that physical edge defensively, but yeah, the assessment is spot on that her minutes should be managed carefully. She's not your go-to bucket getter. She's not orchestrating offense. She's crashing boards, banging bodies, and handling the thankless jobs. Chicago finished 13 and 27 and missed the playoffs entirely. When Ree tried to do too much beyond her core strengths, the numbers suffered. She shot 39.1% from the field, and her usage rate climbed higher than it probably should have, given her offensive limitations. On Team USA, though, surrounded by elite creators and scorers, she wouldn't need to expand her game. She'd just rebound and defend. That's actually the perfect situation for what she brings.
We got 4 of the top guards in the league. Every guard I named, in my opinion, is better than Chelsea Gray. Caitlin Clark is better than Chelsea Gray. Paige Beckers is better than Chelsea Gray. Jackie Young is better than Chelsea Gray. Kelsey Plum is better than Chelsea Gray. We don't need Chelsea Gray on this team. No disrespect. You did your thing. You've had your fair share of Olympic runs. It's time for the new generation. Time for us to move on. Brittany Griner did not make this team. Brittany Griner, now you can always use that 6'9" size.
So, Gurrier gets left out. Let's dig into who didn't make this projected roster and why this represents something bigger. Gray, Gurrier, and Burton are on the outside, looking in. The explanation? Generational transition, building around the next wave instead of holding on to the past. Here's why this gets complicated. USA basketball doesn't usually work like this. They prioritize institutional memory. They want players who've been through the international grind, who know how FIA rules differ from the WNBA, who understand the pace and physicality. The three-point arc is shorter internationally. The lane is wider. Contact gets called differently. Veterans who've competed in multiple Olympics and World Championships know these adjustments instinctively. That's why Bird played for Team USA until 41, grabbing her 5th gold in Tokyo at 40. That's why Teresi was still on the Paris roster at 42, becoming the oldest player in Olympic basketball history. USA basketball leans on veterans because they perform when the pressure peaks in international competition, but there's a growing counter-narrative gaining traction. The rest of the world is catching up. Team USA took gold in Paris, but several games got way closer than they should have been. Australia pushed them. France had them sweating. The days of cruise control blowouts are finished. Maybe that means it's time to bet on athleticism, shooting, and whoever's dominating the WNBA right now, not who dominated half a decade ago.
We got Hamby, we got Angel Reese, we got we got Kiki, we got some bigs, we got some size, we good. And Veronica Burton didn't make this team. No, love Veronica Burton, love her as a player, but this team is already stacked with guards, so Veronica Burton did not make the cut for my final roster. So I'm going to read you the final roster.
So let's break down this final 12 one more time and really examine what this roster construction accomplishes. Clark, Young, Copper, Hamby, Boston, Beckers, Plum, Citron, Brink, Ree, Jackson, and Hurrian. The average age here would land somewhere in the mid-20s. That's way younger than typical USA basketball rosters. The Paris Olympic squad averaged over 30. This is basically a complete reset, declaring that the cycle that included Tokyo and Paris is finished, and now we're building toward Los Angeles in 2028 and whatever comes after. The positional breakdown is intriguing, too. For natural guards, seems like overkill until you remember international basketball is perimeter-driven. Championships get decided beyond the arc. Three-point shooting matters infinitely more than post play in today's global game. Loading up with 4 elite guards who can all shoot, facilitate, and handle defensive pressure actually makes perfect sense. The frontcourt is where this gets experimental. Hamby, Boston, Brink, Ree, Hurrian. That's serious size and flexibility, but not much traditional back-to-the-basket scoring. This roster would push tempo, launch threes, and lean on athleticism instead of grinding possessions in the post. That's a thoroughly modern approach to basketball, and it mirrors where the game is headed worldwide.
Should be on this Team USA team. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Who's on your team? Who would you take off of my list? I think I know who a lot of y'all say. Get down in the comments. Let me know.
So, here's what this whole debate really comes down to. This isn't about 12 roster spots for one competition. This is about the identity of USA basketball moving forward. Whether the organization will make difficult decisions about legacy versus current production, Chelsea Gray perfectly captures this tension. She's a champion, finals MVP, Olympic gold medalist. She's earned every bit of respect through years of excellence. But in 2024, she wasn't a top 5 guard in the WNBA. Probably not top 10. Age and injuries have taken their toll. So, do you honor everything she's accomplished and hope she can rediscover that form for a tournament? Or do you go with someone who's performing at a higher level right now? Same exact question applies to Gurrier. She's still productive, still one of the world's premier shot blockers, but she's 33. Her mobility isn't what it was 5 years back. Brink, when healthy, might not match Griner's defensive dominance yet, but she offers more versatility and higher upside. So, what matters more, proven championship credentials or future ceiling? USA basketball has always favored the veterans. That's why the Paris roster included Teresi. Even though she barely saw the floor during the tournament, she was there for leadership and perspective. That's why Stewart and Thomas were automatic picks despite injury question. The program values continuity and trust, but the Caitlin Clark situation shifted everything. Cutting the most popular player in women's basketball from the Olympic team created massive blowback. Fever games with Clark averaged over 1 million viewers multiple times during the 2024 season. Some broadcasts on ABC hit 2.3 million. Meanwhile, Olympic basketball viewership was solid, but not dramatically higher than regular season WNBA games featuring Clark. The optics were brutal. It appeared like USA basketball was penalizing Clark for being a rookie, even though she was obviously one of the 12 best players in the country. That choice might force USA basketball to rethink their entire roster building philosophy. If current performance matters, if ability right now matters, if fan engagement and star power matter, then you can't just default to veterans anymore. You have to make uncomfortable calls. You have to tell champions their era is ending. You have to prioritize what's happening on the court today over what happened 3 years ago. And that's deeply uncomfortable. Sports organizations resist these decisions because they generate controversy and hurt relationship. It's far easier to keep cycling through the same core until they naturally age out, but easier doesn't equal better. And if USA Basketball wants to maintain their edge over the rest of the world, they need to get comfortable making uncomfortable roster move. This proposed roster forces every one of those conversations. It declares Gray's time is finished. It says Gurrier isn't indispensable anymore. It says youth and present-day performance beat legacy. That's an aggressive position, and it's probably not what USA Basketball will actually do. But it's absolutely worth debating whether they should, because here's the reality. 2028 brings the Olympics to Los Angeles. The pressure to capture gold on home soil will be absolutely crushing, and the roster that maximizes USA Basketball's chances to win might not be the roster that honors past contributions. It might be the roster that emphasizes shooting, speed, versatility, and players in their absolute prime. It might be the roster that looks exactly like what was just laid out. Clark directing the offense, surrounded by shooters and athletes. Boston protecting the rim. Beckers delivering instant scoring off the bench, resecuring every available rebound. That's a roster constructed to win in 2028, not a roster designed to reward 2024 accomplishments. So, the real question isn't whether this exact 12 is perfect. The question is whether USA Basketball is prepared to adopt this philosophy. Are they willing to prioritize performance over pedigree? Are they ready to inform legends that the next era has arrived? Are they prepared to build around Caitlin Clark the way they built around Bird and Terrace for 15 years? Because if they're not, if they keep defaulting to veterans and experience and organizational loyalty, they might face serious problems. The rest of the world isn't frozen in time. Australia has serious talent. France has weapons. Spain, Canada, Belgium, China, they're all improving rapidly. The gap is shrinking. The only way to maintain dominance is fielding the absolute best roster possible, not the most decorated one. That's what makes this conversation so critical. This isn't about disrespecting Gray or Gurrier or any veteran. This is about recognizing that sports evolve. Generations shift. The players who dominated 5 years ago might not be the ones who should represent the country now. This proposed roster is aggressive, youth-driven, and constructed around current performance. It emphasizes shooting, versatility, and players dominating the WNBA today. It would spark controversy. It would upset people, but it also might be the roster that gives USA Basketball the strongest chance to win gold in Los Angeles. So, what's your take? Is it time for USA Basketball to transition away from veterans and construct around the next generation, or do experience and championship pedigree still outweigh current statistics? Should Caitlin Clark run the point from day one, or does she need to earn that role behind established players? And most critically, if you are building this roster, who gets cut and who makes it? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this conversation is only